This case that I have right here in front of me is the Apache 3800 from Harbor Freight, and I think this makes an excellent case for the FM3. What's up, friend? Thanks for hanging out with me today. My name is Matthew Dale. I am here to help you play better, sound great, and understand more. And in today's case, I'm going to help you protect your gear more because we're going to be taking a look at this case and how it kind of stacks up to some of its competition. Not only do I think this is a really rugged and great overall case, it's also waterproof, which is another huge benefit, but it's also incredibly budget-friendly, which is not always the case with other similar roto-molded cases with pull-and-pluck foam like this from some other brands like Pelican and SKB, both of those which I have as well. So let's go ahead and dive in and talk about what makes this case so great, what I think you are missing out on for not paying the much higher price for the SKB or the Pelican, and just give you an overall overview of what's going on inside here. Okay, let's go ahead and just inspect this case a little bit. So obviously, if I spin this around, Apache 3800, have I said that enough times by now? Rugged mobility, there's something I don't think I've said yet. So we do have these nice ridges which keep things, rigid. So that extra bracing I think is nice. We have that on the top and I believe on the bottom as well. You can see that I still haven't completely removed all of the stickers because they are on there pretty good. I do like that this handle kind of swings up and around, so that way if you are carrying it, it can go in either sort of direction. And then I do like that it does have metal reinforcements around the locks. That's great. Let's go ahead and pop it open, and as I pop it open, this is one of the first areas that this case is very derivative, or it differs, I guess I should say. I should get my words correct. This is where this case does differ from the likes of SKB and Pelican. So if I undo these latches, they're just kind of a friction fit, or a press-on fit. There's no actual latching mechanism. Do you like that little, visual aid there? There's no real latching mechanism. They're just kind of on there by press. They are secure. I don't have any issue with security, but that is something to note. While I'm down here in this area, this is also not an automatic pressure valve like the others have. You do have to twist this to undo pressure if you go into like different climates or altitudes or, kind of whatever. And you do have to kind of shut that if you do want it to be, I guess, submersible. Otherwise, it'll just kind of shed water off to the side. Here is the SKB case that my Apache one replaced. This is the SKB I series that we see here. I love this case. I think this case is great. Obviously, you can see it's gone to the ends of the earth and back with me, from overseas trips to road trips to tour vans and back of tour buses, and I mean it's been all over the place. I got this back in college, so it's survived college as well. So as I was kind of saying, I actually have to physically hold a latch. You can see that. I actually have to press that, and there's a very positive latching. I can't tug on these, and these won't fly open. Also has the automatic pressure release valve there. So those are a couple of the quality things to note. Otherwise, the plastic around this they feel very comparable between the two. One thing that I think the Apache has a nicer one of is the handle, because this one just pops up and stops there. You don't have a little more of a freer motion with that. It just kind of stops at that 90 degrees. And then if I pop this up, I've got a projector in here and a screen and stuff. I mean, it's very similar. Pull and pluck foam, yada, yada, yada. We kind of get the deal. Let's go back over to the Apache and take a look at that. All right, enough showing the other one. Let's actually get into this one. So as I pop it up, I will show you how I have my FM3 all situated. Very much like how I have my Pelican 1555 for my FM9, but just in a smaller scale. And since we are talking Fractal equipment here, now is a probably good time to mention that if you want to try out some of my absolute favorite tones for yourself, you can head over to matthewdell.com/blocks and download my blocks library. I have a helpful video over there for you as well to help get you set up on finding and uploading these tones into your device. I've got everything from clean to gritty, from low gain to high gain, amps dialed in, my favorite cabinets already dialed in. That's probably the biggest thing because sometimes cabinets can be a little bit hard to dial in. My favorite effects, my favorite routings. I've got a whole bunch of goodies over there for free, matthewdale.com/blocks, and you can try out some of my favorite tones for yourself. So on the front here, we've got the FM3, and then I've got my little TRS cable for the I guess it's the EV2. I am trying to remember it right now. I've got the EV2 underneath here. So if I just kind of move this guy out of the way, now I've got everything that I have, everything that I need for a gig. I got my expression pedal, I've got my in-ears, I got my power cable, I've got my TRS cable to hook this guy up, and bam, in this small package, I've got my complete outfitted rig here, which I think is great. Now, as I do kind of put this back down, and I'll just kind of pan up a little bit, you can see how some of the foam is already depressing, which is good. It means I've got a really nice, snug fit in here, and so if I press this down and clasp it shut, it's good to go. It's waterproof, which I think is a huge benefit. I'll kind of get into that more in a second. One thing that this particular case has over my SKB, if I just swap it up again, is this older style SKB doesn't have metal on the locks over here. They just, had the holes through the roto-molded stuff here. So that is kind of a nice little improvement as well. So go ahead and take a look at these listings that I have called up over here. So here is here are all of the cases, by the way, from Harbor Freight. So this is the one that I'm showing here in this video, is the 3800 protective waterproof case, yada, yada, yada. It's only $40, and this is an absolute win. I mean, it comes in a couple different colors if you wanted to expand from the classic black. If you wanted to, really highly rated, a lot of reviews as well. $40, absolutely insane. Now this says you can compare it to a Pelican 1450 at $160. I saw another one that was the 1500 that might be, I don't know, maybe a little bit, I guess this one's a little bit bigger, but this one with the pull and pluck foam is $171. And then the SKB, or the updated SKB case that I have here, that was my old FM3 case, is the 1711, I believe. This one is also $174.99. Just kind of crazy. When I was actually looking, I was looking for some new foam inserts for this, because I had just gone through my other foam inserts for different iterations of how I was using that case, and the foam insert replacement itself was like $40 or $50. It was just absolutely insane. $40 for foam, it just kind of stupid. So I still have my SKB case, obviously. I still love it. I think it's a great case. But, why pay $40 just for foam when I can pay $40 for a whole new case and new foam and have two cases? I still think the SKB makes a great product. I love that it's made in the USA. I think Pelican makes awesome cases. I love that they're made in the USA as well. Let's see. Here's some of the inserts that I had up over here. You can see, I think this one was the most. This one's a little bit smaller, 12 by 8 by 3. You can see $40. This one's a little bit similar. I think somewhere I was looking for a similar one. Maybe it's up here. 17 by 17 by 10. No, that's too big. 15 by 10 by 4 is probably going to be a little more comparable. I actually can't find it on the website, so I don't know if they took down the foam inserts for that particular case. I don't know why, because they still list the case on their website. I digress. Yeah, $55 for the replacement foam, which I think is absolutely insane. One thing to note, though, about the Harbor Freight cases, obviously, they're not as expansive as Pelican or SKB. So if you go over, like I said, I think this is a great size, as I demonstrated, for the FM3. You can get one a little bit bigger at $60. But The case that I have for my FM9 is the 1555 Air, this one over here. This one's $270, a lot more with a pull and pluck foam, but this is more of a briefcase style case, for lack of a better word. And the only one that kind of matches the same size and the Harbor Freight line is this one here. Now, it is much cheaper, but it's not the form factor that I wanted. It has the rolling case. It's much deeper. Now, you could make an argument that having the roller and the deeper case would be nice for certain things. It's just not what I wanted, and I guess I am a little bit crazy because it was worth it for me to get the Pelican. But as I've said, the Pelican is a really, 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 really high quality case. Nothing absolutely wrong. They are expensive, but in some cases, I think you get what you pay for. But I think these cases here that you can find will work just as well for most people, for most players. I think they would. They are an easy win, and I mean $40. You could buy 4 of these cases for the price of one of these SKB cases and still come out a little bit ahead. So there's that for you as well. There's one other point of difference that I would like to mention here between these brands of cases. I'm kind of lumping the SKB and the Pelican into one because those are very similar with just a couple of minute differences. We've already talked about the latches and how those are a little bit different, and the pressure release valve. The foam that comes in the Apache case is a lot less dense than the SKB or the Pelican. So this is really going to be tough to see on camera, but this is a chunk of the Apache foam, and it's very compressible, okay? This is a chunk, and this is actually a thinner chunk, and it's much more rigid. This, in my case, I think was actually a little bit of a benefit because the FM3 is a real tight fit in here. So having this to compress a lot more than, say, this, which is a lot firmer, I think was a little bit of a benefit. This might be 6 to 1, half a dozen the other. It just kind of depends on what you like. Obviously, this is probably more expensive foam because it is higher density than this. And I got a great user tip on my Pelican video where you can actually spray Plasti Dip like out of the can on this stuff and kind of firm it up and make sure that all of these gaps in the pull and pluck stuff here kind of seals and locks together so you don't have random bits of foam flying off as you're getting your equipment in and out. So that is one thing to mention. I would say that those are the 3 biggest differences. The latches are different, the valve is different, and the foam is different. I do think the overall fit and finish of the Pelican and the SKB are nicer. There's less, like tooling marks, or there's less like inconsistency of like finish color, and like there's some ratty plastic bits kind of on the back here of the. It's really too boring to really show because it just looks like little flakes of plastic that weren't cut completely off when they got it out of the mold. Other than that, I mean, they are probably 85% the same case. This one is $40, which I think is just a great value. Doesn't mean that I don't like my SKB or my Pelican. I really do like those as well. But I'm also going to enjoy this case and try it out with my FM3 and my FC6 from now on. And we'll see how it goes. Just a real quick note on why I think it's a good idea to have something like a waterproof case for one of these devices. Recently, a little while ago, I was doing a wedding gig, and like a lot of wedding gigs, which can be kind of annoying if you do a lot of weddings like I do, they're outside, right? And oftentimes weather can be unpredictable. So I have sort of a rule that I follow when I'm doing an outdoor gig. I mean, it could be for a wedding or, whatever. But my rule is, at first slightest drop. And also keep in mind that I'm doing this as a soloist, so my setup is literally my FM3, probably a speaker on a stand, and my guitar and a stool, and that it's pretty minimal. So my go-to rule would be at the first slightest drop of rain, I tear down, I break down, and that's it. So that would include me putting my guitar in my mono bag, which is rain resistant, and then throwing a cover, hopefully, over my speaker, and then putting the FM3 back into what used to be my SKB case and now my Apache case. The benefit with that is I don't need to worry about bringing all of that equipment either inside somewhere, which could be, an unpredictable thing, or trying to transport it to my car if I'm walking and I'm parked way far away or, whatever. It just means that I can just shut it down, close things up, latch things down, and really not have to worry about it. That's why I think it is a benefit to have something like a waterproof roto-molded case like this for FM9, FM3, kind of whatever you would have. That's a benefit. That's happened on more than one occasion, but on one particular occasion, it was particularly egregious because like a big storm rolled in, right? So, and luckily, I was able to get inside somewhere, but having that extra assurance about, let me just throw it in the case, latch it down, lock it up, and I don't have to worry about any components being damaged. Now, there are certainly other means of transporting your FM3. I mean, you could use SoftBag, you could probably find some other roto-molded cases like this online, on Amazon, whatever. This is just the one that I found. Nice thing about going to Harbor Freight is that I'm actually going to Harbor Freight. And I can pick this up and kind of inspect it and make sure that I get, a good one if I notice any sort of manufacturing defects or whatever. So let me know what you guys thought about this in the comment space below. Once again, this is the Apache 3800, an excellent case, an excellent option for the FM3 or your FC6 or whichever, any sort of music equipment that I guess you could fit in this thing. So my name is Matthew Dale. Once again, I'm here to help you play better, sound great, and understand more. Drop me a comment in the space below, and I will see you next time.